Eric Adams ends his reelection bid amid corruption scandals in New York City. According to CNN, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is ending his reelection campaign after months of scandal and the loss of public campaign finance. Adams, once seen as a rising Democratic figure, was indicted on federal corruption charges last year, accused of soliciting donations from Turkish nationals and trading favors. These charges were later dismissed by Trump's Justice Department, which cited the need to work with Adams on immigration enforcement. Adams framed his withdrawal as an effort to put the city first, saying in a video, "Despite all I've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign." But here's the bigger picture. Democrats like Adams are being forced out over financial scandals, while Trump's own circle faces no such accountability. Officials in his administration have literally been caught taking bags of cash, and Trump himself has promoted shady crypto ventures worth millions, perhaps billions. Yet these cases are simply ignored. They're dismissed. Adams' corruption is real, there's no doubt about it, but the double standard is glaring. Okay, what's the real message here? Eric Adams is gone because apparently you can't be incredibly corrupt, sticking cash in your pockets, getting favors every 2 seconds, and expecting the Democrats in a Democratic city to just turn away. It doesn't work that way, Eric. You want to do that, dye your hair pink or orange and color your face orange and run from another party. Let's dig a little bit deeper here. I certainly don't want to seem like I'm saying, well, everybody does it. It's unfair that he's picked on, because I don't think every politician is a crook. Sorry if that makes me sound really naive and stupid or like some tool of the establishment, but I've worked with a lot of political figures throughout my career, and I've worked for the federal government, I've worked for members of Congress, I've worked in state government, and I find that the human beings who run for office are not any worse. They're a little different than the average citizen, but they're not worse. They're just like us, but often exaggerated. And some are, in fact, extraordinarily honest. Many have so much money, another $50,000 doesn't mean anything to them. And I'm certainly not suggesting that just because you're rich, you're more honest. That's not what I'm suggesting. But my point is, many people in public life go into public life not because they are trying to enrich themselves. And Eric Adams does not seem to be one of those. He seemed like he's looking for every little extra side deal, every perk, every benefit, every upgrade to first class he can get. And if he's got to make little side deals, that's politics. Well, here's the odd situation we are in now in America. It's like this in all sorts of aspects of society. If you are a poor minority and you're caught stealing 3 candy bars and it meets a certain threshold of $21, you can get a 10-year prison sentence. If you are a banker and you commit fraud on a scale of tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, quite often it's, don't do that, naughty boy, and you don't serve any time. So there is a problem in America where small crimes are punished much more viciously and draconianly than large crimes by any stretch of the imagination. What Donald Trump is doing, cashing in on his name, cashing in on the White House, cashing in on the fact that he gets publicity every day to start these absurd, ridiculous meme coins. Not to mention, phones. I mean, there's so many things where he has put his grubby fingers on raising money for himself during his last 9 months in office. I can't even remember them. I can't keep track of them. We'd have to devote the entire show just to listing scammy ways he is cashing in corruptly from office. And the problem is, if you steal $100, you're a thief, you're tracked down, maybe shot. You steal $1 billion, then it's a little too complicated. It's a little too confusing. People are mystified. They give you much more respect. Wow, wasn't he smart? The other thing we're finding is there's this right-wing echo chamber where once Trump says, here's my guy, I don't care if he's caught taking $50,000 of cash in a bag, promising people, hey, once he's back in my administration, he'll get you what you want. He's saying he doesn't care about it. It's not just that Trump doesn't care about it. We've known that he doesn't care about ethics. The only principle he stands for is what's good for me is good. Anyone who doesn't try to line my pocket is bad, and they should be indicted or attacked or vilified, all of those things. But we're now seeing prominent members of the media, like Megyn Kelly, proudly post on social media, "I don't care," referring to top officials in the Trump administration getting caught taking on camera $50,000 in cash in a bag, making promises about what they're going to deliver in the administration. So that's a little bit different. I defy anyone, any liberal commentator, any progressive commentator, any centrist commentator, any Democratic commentator, any radical left commentator say, "I don't care if Adams lined his pockets, cash and bribes." Just haven't seen that. If you see that, go ahead and post it for me. And this is frankly the kind of way it's supposed to go. You get elected, there's a honeymoon period. To his credit, Eric Adams did a lot of good things. The city has seen its crime rate go down since he's been mayor. The quality of life has in fact gone up. I realize that's not politically correct for some of you who get all your news from the New York Post and Fox News Channel, but it's just demonstrably true. But then if you are caught, if the media does its job, uncovers things, uncovers corruption, writes stories about it, Justice Department officials, police officials, others start investigating, indictments are starting to flow. What happens in normal democracies and what happened in the United States is traditionally then the support for that politician goes so low, they either quit or they don't run for re-election. That is exactly what happened to Eric Adams. He did not win the Democratic nomination. He did very poorly in the primary. I think he came in, fourth? Then he decided to run, or he may have even decided, forgive me if I botched that, he may have just decided, I'm not even going to run as a Democrat. And he ran as an independent because he knew he couldn't get votes from a majority of the Democratic voters. They lost trust in him. And now his career is over. That's the way it's supposed to be, folks. You get caught with your hand in the cookie jar again and again and again. The media cover you. You can't just say it's fake news. Investigative legal bodies come after you. They start to make the case that what you did was illegal, fraudulent, bad. Polls go down. Your chances of going to prison go up, and the system is cleansed. New Yorkers are not going to have to worry much longer, another few months. Eric Adams cashing in on that office of betraying voters because the system actually worked. This is what is supposed to happen. So that's great news in a sense. What's not great is that a notch or two higher Eric Adams, a little further south in a little city known as Washington, D.C., it's not happening that way. And that is the real tragedy here, that it seems we've gotten to the point where only one political party, only one set of voters actually cares about politicians being corrupt. Another party says, we do care about corrupt politicians, but only if it's in the other party. If it's our team, our guys, we're going to be 100% tribal and rally around it. Because if it's one thing that is absolutely indisputable is that voters in New York City did not act in a tribal manner. Democrats did not act as a tribe. Even black voters did not act as a tribe. They all turned against Eric Adams because there was this thing called evidence. There was these things called facts, making it very clear that he had tainted his office, that he had been corrupted, that he had cashed in. And in this case, the voters acted responsibly. The media acted responsibly. Wonder how we could start making this a trend.